Hi. So thank you so much. This has been great. Unfortunately, we came out a little bit later, so you might have covered this already, but we're both high school seniors, and we were just kind of curious about how you would suggest younger students like organize and start like doing the work around readings. And like, I know you talk about like individual learning and like self-exploration, but how would you suggest like creating a sense of community around like this, I guess, more radical thought practice? Just because I feel like that's definitely a very individualized experience. And like, I don't know if that's necessarily playing to like capitalist isolation strategies. So we were just kind of wondering about that.
Well, I mean, look, I mean, I have collaborated in writing books with 7 people. I formed an open anthropology cooperative that had 22,000 members, which is 50% more than the American Anthropological Association. I mean, everywhere I've been, I've given, soirees to students so that we could, have a drink and talk things over. I've read Capital at Yale with a group of people who wanted to do that. And, I mean, the thing is that the social context of how we make advance is important. But I think what matters, I mean, I'm sorry I have to disappoint you, because unfortunately they only hand out brains once at a time. And almost everything you think is formed in between your ears. And you should be aware that that's the most important aspect of your education, not finding people to read with or to find some, I mean, if you find a group of people, I mean, what I say in my book is that how students learn is in their informal conversations and drinking into the small hours of the morning, not in the lecture room. You learn more in the free floating exchanges with people you know and like than you do in any kind of, so that if you say, I need a class that I have made, in order to do this, that means you downgrade these things which are actually more important, which are the, not just what you do by yourself, but the many informal ways that you have of learning from people of your age. And, I mean, that's how people, that's what he meant when he's, Rousseau said, kids learn more from the playground and what they do there on their own terms than they do when some arsehole appointed by the church tries to turn them into conformist citizens. So, and I mean, I mean, to me, the greatest thing that happened in my life was the digital revolution. I've been I mean, almost everything that I do now, all my ways of learning, communication, and so on, is done on that. I mean, the scope for interaction and sharing in so many specialized and common ways is the only problem is we have to, do it through organizations that believe command and control capitalism is still the best way of organizing the internet. So, but you can find ways around that. I mean, I just have an email address system with about 1,000 people in it that I like. And if I come up with something, I get onto 1 or 2 of them and say, what do you think? We live in a world where time and space distance has collapsed. And we can talk to anybody we like. We don't have to be, I mean, I have a daughter, 2 daughters actually. And, she actually was a Hollywood producer who helped to launch Blu-ray for Sony. But then she became a yoga teacher. And now she wants to become a creative writer, and she's thinking about, and so she was discussing with me, you know, how can I become a creative writer? And she said, you know, I need to find, you know, a group of people in the neighborhood who I can talk about creative writing with. Well, maybe creative writing is a lone activity and suits my case. And maybe there are other things you can, where you know, you learn best by sharing with people who would help you do together what you want to do. I mean, I understand that. But you know, I keep saying, you know, it's the kids, you know, I have another daughter who's Generation Z. And I love these girls, you know. I mean, you know, she went to the best lycée in France. I mean, these kids, the Generation Z kids, they're so much better than the millennials. Never mind the baby boomers and all the rest of it. I mean, they're hardworking, they're political in a very focused way, they're enthusiasts, you know, they're digitally tremendous and, you know, creative, and they get on very, you know, I mean, my daughter, this teenager, you know, went on a holiday to Greece, and, you know, with her class, and I said, well, what did you think of Greece? And she said, oh, I loved my companions. You know, I mean, she said, I mean, the biggest thing in her life is whether she's got a good social life. But at the same time, she knows, you know, she's got to organize what she does by herself and take it seriously. I really believe, based on my experience of these kids in Paris, that Generation Z is the only possible salvation for the planet. And you need to get rid of us first, or just do something that, you know, I mean, you know, I mean, you know, Greta Thunberg is a model. You know, I mean, so I mean, I know you've been bombarded since you were a baby with the idea that you're incompetent, and that you'll only be incompetent when you've got a PhD. You'll only be competent when you've got a PhD or something, and getting that, you know, subjects you to coercive assholes all the way. You know, I mean, the thing is, you know, I believe, and I'm not making, this isn't a joke. I mean, I'm sure there are other, you know, I mean, but, you know, Fanon, you know, knew, I mean, he got into the Algerian War and he saw what people were doing in the anti-colonial struggle, and he realized that these people had a power that was consistently denied them by racist colonialism. And you have to find your power and who you want to do it with. I'm sorry, it sounds a bit trite, but that's my belief.
Thank you so much. We have to go, but this has been wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.